Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and this video will help your cornering out drastically. I guarantee it. So as simple as this exercise is, it's very, very important to actually go out and do it. So I challenge all of you, right after you're done watching this video, to go get on your motorcycle and do what I'm doing. So I want you to go find an empty road, a big parking lot like this, or whatever else. It doesn't matter if it's really good grip, it's kind of gravelly and dirty like this is, and bumpy. It doesn't really matter. So I want you to do, get up into second gear like I am, and then if you're able to and want to put cones down every 20 feet. If not, that's okay. Just pretend that you have cones down every 20 feet. I just want you to do this. This is it, simple weaving. What you're doing when you're doing that is you're counter steering. There's no other way to get the bike to lean and weave, right? So what you're really doing, what I want you to do, is as you're pushing, I want you to feel the effects, cause and effect. When you do this, what does the bike do? Now push quicker and see the results of your quicker action and what that causes the bike to do, right? If you're able to do it one-handed, push right to go right, pull left to go right, or pull left to go right, push right to go right, push left to go left. See how the bike leans and you go in that direction. Or you could pull on the right handlebar to go left. So watch, I'm going to go to the left, I'm going to pull right. And there I go. Instantaneous, right? Counter steering is not some big dramatic movement. It's just how you lean the motorcycle. There's just no other way to go about it, right? Here we go. I have the bike on cruise control, so now I can go left hand only. If I pull on the left handlebar, the bike destabilizes and falls and leans to the right. Same thing. All I'm doing is pushing forward, the bike leans and goes that direction. And it's more dramatic. You'll get to see the bike actually counter steer at lower speeds. At faster speeds, you're not going to see it because the wheels are moving too quickly, right? But at lower speeds, you can actually see the handlebar destabilize and I fall in that direction. Watch, all I'm going to do is pull on the left handlebar. It just goes. Now, if I keep on pulling, if I just keep pulling, I'm just going to keep leaning, I'm just going to crash. That's what will happen if you just don't stop the push. So you push it enough to get the bike to destabilize to the right lean angle, and then once you've got the right lean angle you want for whatever you're doing, then you stop pushing. The wheel by itself will correct itself and turn in the direction of the corner that you're going, and turn in the direction you're going. You don't have to do that physically. Watch, push right. Once I'm done leaning, it self-corrects itself. So you don't have to worry about the second part. All you have to do as the rider is push forward and let the bike do everything else. So that's what you're doing, and you're feeling the cause and effect. And the more you understand how the bike leans and how what your action does affects the bike, the better off you're going to be, and the more confident you'll be by cornering. Because you won't wonder, you won't hope, you won't just say stupid things like, I don't know, I just kind of lean the bike. Yeah, well, how do you think the bike leans? By counter steering. And if you're unaware of this process, you're always going to be a step behind everybody else who's not aware, or who is aware of that stuff, right? Here's we go. Push. You hold the lean or you hold the push, it leans more, it leans further, and it holds it longer. There's cones, there's every 20 foot, there's cones. Swerve. Right, just get used to doing that. And if you go out on your bike and kind of just play around, go to a parking lot, go to a dented road like this, cul-de-sac, and just go back and forth and doing this, you'll be like, wow, the bike really leans instantaneously, and all I have to do is push forward. Yes, that's all you have to do. Your cornering will improve immediately. So if you do this, you go play around for 10 minutes, then you go out on the twisty mountain roads, the level of precision you'll have when cornering your bike will be greater than anything you've ever done before, because it's intentional now. You're not hoping, you're not just, I don't know, kind of thing. You're intentionally making the bike do what you want to do. So you have to be a little bit more assertive. You're going to tell the bike, dude, you're leaning over here, you're going this way, go that way, right? You want to go left, you push left. Get the bike to do what you want it to do, right? But if there's cones every 20 feet, look, I'll just go on this whole road like this, back and forth, back and forth. So a 600-pound adventure bike, I have a big old gold wing. Every bike will move just as quickly as I'm doing right now. It's all about the inputs that you push, and I'm not pushing down. If down did anything, every time I did a hammer fist like this, the bike should shoot off to the left. It's irrelevant. Down does not do anything. But I know why people say that. It only seems like you're pushing down, because when I push, the bike leans. That means the handlebar gets lower. So it looks like you're actually going down, but down does nothing. I can stand up. Look at cruise control, stand up. If down did something, if I pushed directly down, why isn't the handlebar going in here? Why am I leaning? Look. I push straight down, literally nothing happens. Look at down is irrelevant, people. It's a forward push. So go back on cruise control. Same thing I was just doing. Look at one finger. Push, it goes. Push, it goes. Push, it goes. That's it. But practice. Go out and do this. Go out and do some weaves. Go around your neighborhood, go around your community, and just even through a curve, just push, push, push. Get used to that feeling. You're in the middle of a curve and now you have to swerve around a pothole or a 2x4. Same thing. Push, 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 push. Just get used to the bike doing that. What does it do? When you do something, the bike does something. What does that feeling feel like? What does that sensation feel like? What are you causing the bike to actually do? So the more you pay attention to your own experience, and the more you go out and play around like this, the better it's going to be. A lot of people, when I go ride with them in the twisties, you can just tell they're very nervous and they're very unsure about what the bike is doing and why it's doing that. You're going wider and wider and wider. You're like, oh, I don't know why it's not leaning. You're not actively counter steering. That's why. Make the bike do what you want. Go, push, push. Again, imagine there's cones every 20 feet, or if you're going faster, like I'm going about 40 miles per hour, imagine the cones are every 30 feet, right? Holy crap, a cone, and just push. Just get used to that feeling. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Why not? Get used to the feeling. Get the bike to do what you want to do. Actively, consciously, assertively counter steer. And it's called counter steering because it's backwards. If I want to go right, you would think I turn the handlebars like this to go right, but it's not. That's why it's called counter. You push forward on the right handlebar, which makes the bike destabilize and fall to the right. Counter. It's counterintuitive. I want to go left, I push left. I want to go right, I push right. It's that simple. And no matter who explains it, how people explain it, if it doesn't make any sense to you, it's usually the intellectual understanding doesn't come until later. You read a bunch of books, you listen to someone explain it to a certain way where the light bulb finally clicks on. But most of the time for people, you get the experiential understanding, but then once you match it with the intellectual understanding, then that's the true power of counter steering, right? So people are like, yeah, I just kind of go. They don't know they're counter steering, but they just like, yeah, I'm just going to make it through the corners. I guess I'm doing it. And that's not too, what's the right word? That's not too competent. That's just like, yeah, I go through the curves. I don't know. I guess I'm counter steering. I am. Maybe I'm. Not. Who knows? It's like, no, dude. Like, you need to up your game. That's like an 8th grader talking about something. Like, learn what you're doing. Learn about the bike. Learn how the bike steers. Like, actively push right and go right. Like, know what you're doing. Like, think about more. Learn about how this motorcycle turns. If you can't explain something to like a 10-year-old, then you don't understand it yourself. So if you think you know how to counter steer, go find a brand new rider who never rode a motorcycle before and explain to him how to go right on a motorcycle at 3 miles per hour or 30 or 300. It doesn't make a difference. Counter steering works at any speed. There's no magic speed where physics finally comes into play and you counter steer around 15 miles per hour. No, you can counter steer, and you do counter steer at 5 miles per hour. If you want to go right, you push right or you pull left. There's no other way to do it. Doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter how many people believe the same thing, because truth is not a democracy. 1 million, billion, trillion people can all believe that this bike is a Yamaha. It does not make one bit of difference of how many people believe the same damn thing. It does not make it true or false. It has nothing to do with the truthness or the falseness of whatever statement you're making based on how many people believe it. Obviously, there's a lot of examples in the world where that is 100% the case. A lot of people believe something, a really popular person says something, so you automatically believe it because that person's popular. Nope, doesn't work like that. Don't care what they're saying, doesn't matter. They may be right, they may be wrong, but their level of popularity is irrelevant to the truth myths. See what I'm saying? Oh, bam, bam. And then you start just weaving, and then you start playing around like I am and acting like you actually have to swerve. Like, oh crap, what's going on? Like, man, maybe there's a 2x4 there. Maybe I actually have to do something. Like, oh, I gotta swerve, I gotta swerve, I gotta swerve. Oh, there's a SD open shuttle spot. Okay, I'm gonna do some circles around this thing. Do some circles. Yeah. Here we go. Just playing around and practicing. But people need to do more experimentation. Exactly what I'm doing right now. Just get on your bike and kind of play around. You don't need cones. You don't have to stop. Just go right around your neighborhood. Do some circles like I'm doing right now. Go like this. 25, 30, 35 miles per hour. Stop as fast as you can. Back in first gear. Kind of play around. Experiment. Get used to what your bike is doing. Feel what the bike is doing. But especially the weaving thing, just going in a straight line and weaving, man. You do this and you really pay attention. Like, don't just kind of go on your bike and be like, all right, I'm just gonna go on the block and weave a couple times and no, actually pay attention, like, and do it one-handed. Push. Okay, it does that. Now I'm gonna pull. What happens? Okay, it does that. Now push faster. Now pull harder. Now what happens? Right? So, and then go back and do it again. Go right around the block. Go for a long straightaway somewhere. And then go at faster speeds. Get on the highway. Go 80 miles per hour. Do the same thing. What does it feel like? And the faster you go, the harder you're going to have to push to get the bike to destabilize, because the faster you go, the more stable the bike is. So you have to push a little bit more aggressive. Like that. Get all that glass on the ground right there. Swerve. Swerve. Push. 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 Get used to that feeling. Because if you're not used to that feeling, you're never going to get used to that feeling when you're in the corner. And now there's a lot of other things to worry about. You're going through a blind corner. What's around the corner? There's oncoming traffic. A lot more stress to think about. And a lot more distractions. A lot more, oh crap, what do I do? While you're actually out in the corners. Right? So if you do this in a big empty road, a parking lot, whatever else, you get used to the feeling of you making the bike lean. And that's the benefit of doing things like this. So then when you are in the corner, like, oh, it's just like I was practicing. I'm going right, so I just need to push right. Yes, that's all you need to do. Nothing else is required to make this bike lean. You don't have to move your body around. You don't have to do anything with your legs. You don't have to do nothing. Just push forward. Make the bike do what you want. That's it. So I really, really hope, more than anything, that you take my videos not as I'm watching something to be entertained because I'm in the bathroom, or, you know, I'm just, you know, bored at work and I just want to watch something to get away from work, whatever. I want you to take my videos and do something with it. It's like I could give you a lottery ticket, but it's irrelevant unless you go cash it, right? So here's the information that could help your cornering out. If you don't go out and do it, it's not going to make a difference to you. It's just pointless. And my channel is not about making pointless crap. I actually want you to take action and do something with this information. So get out there on your bike right now. Go get on your bike. Go ride around your neighborhood, go explore, go do whatever, just like I did. Find a road, whatever you're doing, and practice actively and consciously countersteering. See what this bike is doing, feel what the bike is doing. And the more you get used to the feeling and you directly connect your action to the result of what happens to the bike, you do that, you go out in the twisties, everything is easier. Less effort, more precise cornering. And it takes away the fear. People say, how do I get over the fear of leaning? Know how to lean. Know how the bike leans. Practice leaning. So when you go out in the canyons, that fear, it's not going to go away, but you're going to be able to better manage it because you know what it takes to get the bike to lean. And even if you're going like at 30 miles per hour down the road and you're pushing pretty good speeds, the bike is leaning pretty damn far. Right? It actually is. So that's how you kind of start to break the ice and like get used to the feeling of that sensation of the bike leaning pretty far, is by doing it in a bigger, emptier, safer environment than in the middle of a blind corner out in the twisties. You see what I'm saying? So go take action, get off YouTube right now, go put on your gear and go out and ride.